Welcome to Bold Talk series, where creativity, leadership, ideas, and innovation come together. My name is Ludvik, and today I have a privilege to have a short one-on-one conversation with Göös, Director of Marketing at Croud in the US. Christine, great seeing you. Welcome to our Bold Talk series. How are you?
Good. I'm coming off the back of Advertising Week, New York. So I either have a bunch of great insights to give you or I'm delirious and there is no in between. But here we are. Let's go.
That's awesome. Great. I enjoy Advertising Week. We were supposed to be there this time around, but we had to shift our focus in some other events that we've been doing. But it's a great event, a great platform, lots of great energy, and I'm sure we're going to get a lot from you this time. Christine, looking back at your career, plus what pivotal moments shaped your approach to marketing and brand storytelling?
I think there are two. My first one is, so I am in B2B marketing today. I have been at this practice for a decade. But actually, if I go back in my career, my first 5 years was as a copywriter at TBWA Helsinki. And I think that time there, and specifically the time where I really got my chance to cut my teeth in some of the biggest client briefs that we had incoming that turned into award-winning work that was led by these amazing strategists and creative leaders out of TBWA Helsinki, and really getting the chance to learn from those people and understanding how you connect creativity to business outcomes and how you craft that award-winning work with that lens in mind. So it just isn't just the case study fluff that you only make for like Cannes Lions, but rather something that really moves the needle for the client. I think that experience in being part of those types of campaigns was sort of the first, I would almost say like a university of how you just become a really great storyteller and a brand marketer. So that was my first one. And I think my second one was coming from Europe to the US. It was really a humbling moment because I came off the back of this like first 5 years in the industry, winning awards and Young Lions and Cannes, and it was hard work, but also very glamorous. And I came to New York and I pivoted into B2B marketing that I did not know that much about at that time. So I had to kind of almost start from zero in a market where nobody knew me, nobody cared who I was. And so it really was a lesson in how do you build your personal brand and your expertise in a new but related industry. And I would say those two are kind of the defining moments in my career.
Yeah, I can relate to that because I remember 12 years ago, when I made the decision to move to Singapore, no one knew me. I need to start from scratch. So it's those beginning, the day to day, the perseverance you got to really push yourself to get out there and do the work that you need to do. And here we are. Now, here we are. We're celebrating that, right?
It's a journey.
Now, Christine, you're also co-host of a podcast.
I am.
It's called House of Content, right?
Yes.
How has your podcasting experience influenced the way you think about audience engagement, content strategy?
I think running House of Content has really given me the tools to connect what is bubbling under in the industry and in culture, and how do you pull those threads then through into the marketing that you do. So for us, our show is about the creator economy, and it's about how audience behavior on social is reflected to creator content, and then by proxy also to brands. And it almost like kind of makes me, I think Matrix is the best example of like how I can describe that. It kind of almost makes me see the Matrix of what is happening around us as it relates to marketing, culture, and social, and then seeing sort of the stories, the narratives, the behaviors that make sense for me to grasp onto as it relates to content strategy then for B2B, for example. And then I think another side of that is also acting like a creator, even as a B2B brand. You take the messaging that you want to put out there in the market and tell it through the people in your business versus just blasting out from a company page. I truly believe that acting like a creator is the biggest unlock for any brand, but specifically B2B brands, to build trust and awareness in the market.
Yeah. Now, talking about that
Mm-hmm.
combination of the crowd, I love the name, how the crowd,
Mm-hmm.
we spelled
With the
exact
U. Yeah.
Your model is unique.
Mhm.
How do you
Yes.
navigate the leading a market in such distributed agile structure while
Yeah.
maintaining like brand vision?
Yeah, yeah. So Croud as an indie agency of like we're about 650 full time, but then our freelance network of the Crowdy network that you're referring to is almost 3,000 people strong. And it was built like that from day one, from 14 years ago when the company was founded. And it really was founded on the principle of agencies really need agile ways to deliver more to their clients in a manner that is also then healthy when when it comes to margins and when it comes to business performance and what you can charge. And I think having this model of you can scale your team up and down based off of briefs, based off of seasonality and campaigns, I think it's beneficial to both the agency and then it's also beneficial to the end client because you're getting more bang for your buck. You're getting a service that matches whatever your needs are at any given time. In the agency world, very easily you see these situations where an agency wins a pitch, they hire 50 people, and then a year and a half, couple years later, the client moves on, and then now they have to run quite a sizable round of layoffs. Having this flexible model mitigates those types of situations. Obviously, it's like nothing is ever one to one, but I would say that it's actually the model was built for it was built 14 years ago, but I think today, and especially with AI, onset of AI and just agentic workflows being embedded into marketing, it's more relevant than ever, or more needed than ever to have that flexibility. And so I think it's about having those core teams that are full time at Crowd, who own the relationship with the client, own the strategy, own the day-to-day relationships, and then you plug in these best experts globally who are able to then deliver the actual work that is being then defined and set by the full-time team.
Yeah, that's how I started actually. This was the beginning in New York with
Mhm.
the model, the crowdsourced model in my
Mhm.
back in the advertising days, and then I've started crowdsourcing week, and that's what got me to Singapore. But that's a
There you
conversation
go.
for next time. Now,
Yeah.
you from advertising week was last week, and
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
the marketing and creative landscapes is evolving rapidly.
Mhm.
How do you stay ahead of emerging trends? Obviously, one in advertising, but other things, and you ensure that the you are ahead of the game in terms of the what's next.
So I think to me, I obviously consume a lot of content as as a creator myself, a podcaster, and then just by proxy of being in the industry where I'm at, I like to take a look at audience behavior sometimes even more than industry publications and reading through or even listening to industry podcasts. It's all fine and well, but I find my inspiration a lot of the times from what consumers are doing and what creators are doing. My husband would probably agree with me that I spend way too much time on TikTok, and I go down rabbit holes of different types of behaviors and then trying to just like see how they perhaps tie into bigger consumer insights that then move brands as well, whether it's B2B or B2C. I can give you an example of that. I made this like notes app prediction grid late last year for 2025, what I thought was going to happen. Actually just went back and saw like which ones of my predictions were actually on point and which ones weren't. But one of the ones that did turn into a bigger movement was no buy or low buy challenges on TikTok, meaning that consumers are turning away from over consumerism, shopping all the time, having new outfits for every single event that you go to, and they're instead taking on these low buy or no buy challenges where they're only wearing what they already have in their closet, or if they buy something, they need to sell something from their closet first. And that was a behavior that kind of like I saw bubbling under on social and through creators, and then eventually I think became a bigger tendency also then affecting things like circular economy and the resurgence of companies like the Real Real that sells secondhand clothing. And so so I like to pull those threads from that start on social and permeate into culture. And I feel like that's a pretty good way of staying on top of things. It's a different perspective though.
Yeah. Now, tell us a little bit about the crowd emphasizing a return on intelligence. What does that mean?
Absolutely. So our business is built on combining the best people, whether it's our full-time people or our crowdies, our crowdie network, the best tech. So we are tech enabled. We've built our own platform and tools. And then we're intelligence led. And that means having access to the best thinking through our team, through our network, through research, and really taking all of that people, tech, and then industry intelligence and turning that into returns, turning that into incremental revenue, turning that into brand lift through the strategies that we give to our clients. So it really is it's all about taking taking that knowledge and turn it into tangible outcomes for brands.
Fantastic. So, in terms of, we talk about a little bit of the trends where you get, is there a
Mhm.
book or a particular book that helps you guide your decision making, or
Mm.
something really gave you some kind of a great guidance in the world of advertising marketing?
So I'm actually going to give a little bit of a different piece of advice. My most creative era in advertising coincided with the time when I was still back in Finland. And so in Finland, if you're in college, you can kind of work at the same time as you're studying. You can make your own schedule. So I was both working full time and finishing my bachelor's in literature. And during that time, I remember one year, read about 60 classic Western literature books that are part of the considered canon for that. And during that time, I had my best ideas, my best writing, most awards. And so I think that my advice would be read more fiction, whether
Mm.
it's classical fiction or, even contemporary, read more fiction and immerse yourself in like worlds created by other people, and that will make you a better marketer as well.
Interesting. Yeah, never even considered reading fiction. So probably this is my time to do that.
Absolutely.
So, I like to ask this as a last
Mhm.
question, short format
Mhm.
podcast that I do with my guests. I like to get everyone's perspective, and that is
Mhm.
about the word bold. What does that mean to you personally, Christine?
Yeah, I think to me anything that is worth doing and getting an outcome that is more than just average takes risk, right? And so for me, being bold is being both daring, but then also strategic about the risks that you take and understanding that you will probably not get from point A to B without having that sort of like level of risk taking there. And that's what bold means to me.
Be daring and be strategic. This is a way to end this conversation. Christine,
Wonderful.
it's so great to have you here. Looking
Great to be
forward to
here.
reconnect again with you. Until next time, take care, be great, and be bold always. Bye bye.
Bye.